Hey, what's up? I'm back with the RX7 today. Working on some more wiring, working on mounting up my coil packs. I figured I'm probably going to mount them right in here on this strut tower, or either right down here. I think this factory bracket that the coil packs came in, I think one mounts here, and then one mounts on the outside. It puts them together small enough, so I think they'll fit right in here. So I'm going to try to do that. Right now I've been got my Dremel tool out, my trusty Dremel tool. I've had this thing for like, I don't know, 12 years. And it was one of the first Dremels to ever come out. It's done a really good job, surprisingly. Anyway, so I'm cutting these tabs off right here and here just to make a little more room. That's what I'm doing right now. I had to do a little cleanup here, like right here and here. There's these places where I did the cutting came out really sharp, so I don't like having sharp stuff around my wiring. That leads to all kinds of stupid problems. Done with that, let's see if we can fit it up. That should hold pretty good. I'd like to make a bracket from here to here, or maybe from here to here. There's a little clip being held in a hole. I might could make a small little bracket to go from one of these bolts here down. Just make a little metal piece. That'd probably work. And it gives me plenty of clearance between my power steering reservoir and pretty much everything else. I'll have one of the coils out here, the other ones will go here and here, and then spark plugs are right there, so luckily I won't have to use terribly long spark plug wires. Trying not to clutter this bay up too much. So there they are, all mounted up. I still need to make a bracket. That shows you the clearance there that I got, which I think is fine. I still need to make a bracket for over here. I'm doing some quick fabrication work on my bench. I figured out the bracket. I'm going to drill a hole right here, and the bracket's going to come up, and it's going to go right under this, in this little gap right here between the coil and the little mount. Let's see. I was able to come up with this right here. I made this little bracket. It's one of my favorite things to do is fabricate little brackets like this. And I think it worked out pretty good. It's aluminum, super lightweight, doesn't weigh anything. It's nice and it should be strong enough. There it is, all done. Tiny little bracket. Probably took me half an hour to make it. I just wanted it to be, you know, perfect. Anyways, they're all mounted up. They're solid. They're not going anywhere. So that's that. Time to get back onto this. Alright, last time I was working on the wiring, I was working on the ignition module. I got the entire route planned out, but I ran out of wire. And I got distracted by a Facebook post for a Turbo 2 transmission. It is over there. If you missed that video, I got this Turbo 2 transmission and that drive shaft right there for 250 bucks, which is quite a deal. Anyways, so I ordered some wire off of Amazon. Here is the wire. and we're going to finish this up. One of my biggest challenges from here out will be getting the Haltech and these pieces that are on this cutting board inside the RX7. I'm thinking that I can put them down here. There's a factory heel plate right there that goes up under here, and I'm thinking the Haltech and all those others will fit up under it. I'm going to run the ignition module into the engine bay and probably tuck it right here. I say tuck it, this is a huge spot, so I don't really need to, you know, try too hard. And then I'm going to run the wires over here to the coils. Hey, what's up, losers? It's been a couple of days since I was doing the wiring on the RX7. I got stuck. I couldn't figure out which wires go to which coils. Today I was hanging out with Justin Mitchell, the Badger, and he just happened to mention the words firing order. And I don't know why I didn't Google this before, but the first result that came up was exactly what I needed. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the #1 ignition output from the Haltech. I'm going to run it to the ignition module and then run that to both leading coils. Both leading coils because they run off wasted spark, they batch fire. Then I'll take the second one and run it to trailing coil 1, and I'll take the third output and run it to trailing coil 2. And I'm hoping within the Halwin software, the software that controls the E8, I'll be able to tell which ones to fire when. I think that's how it's supposed to go. I guess we'll see. So basically, here's what it's going to look like. These are my ignition outputs right here. Pin 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm only going to use 3, 4, and 5, which is ignition output number 1, 2, and 3. Looking over here at this is the Haltech ignition module wiring. It looks like output 1 from the ignition output 1 is going to go here. Output 2 will go here, and output 3 will go here. And then these coil negatives will go out to the coils, and that's how the coils will fire. One thing that I'm absolutely terrible at is remembering the steps in which to do wiring. Make sure you get the sleeve, the heat shrink, the boot, these things before you strip the ends. It's ridiculous, and I'm terrible at it. I always end up like stripping these ends before I run these little waterproofing things on. So when I try to run the waterproofing things on, it peels the copper back, and it's super nasty, and it's impossible to get them through here. So you have to end up cutting these off again so they're clean, pulling these on, and then stripping them off. Man, I go back and forth. I have to back up like 20 times every time I do a single step. It's ridiculous. So here's where I am. I have, let's see, coil -1, and I think this is coil -2 and coil -3, and then I have a chassis ground wired in here. I ordered the colors Roy G. Biv. They're in order. So you got red, yellow, and blue for 1, 2, and 3. Somewhere here I have my other wires to wire up for the rest of the igniter. However, to make the rest of this connector, these wires are going to have to go through, they're going to have to come through the firewall right here. So I got to figure out where I'm going to put this first. I don't know if I'm going to leave it on that cutting board or take it off, maybe put it on something smaller. But I got to get that in the car. I got to get a ground to it, and I got to get power to it. But man, I'm super close on this. Hopefully the next video that I shoot will be me firing this thing up, or at least turning it over, firing up the Haltech, and showing you some of the settings. But I'm real close. Until then, we'll talk to y'all later.